Okay, hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the Middle East Forum's weekly podcast series, Israel Insider. My name is Anaf Kalam, and I will be moderating today's discussion. We are pleased to be joined by Alex Selsky, Senior Advisor to the Middle East Forum's Israel Victory Project and Reservist Major in the IDF Homefront Command, joining us this week to give us a brief update on the top events currently going on in Israel. Mr. Selsky will speak for 15 minutes, followed by 15 minutes of Q&A from the audience. If you would like to ask a question, you can do so by using the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen to type your question. And with that, I will turn the floor over to Mr. Alex Selsky.
Hello, good evening from Jerusalem. Thank you, Achnaf. Hello to all. Well, this is a very important week, as always, overwhelmingly hot and full with very important news. So let's really I took 5 most important issues that I would like to tell you about and to try to summarize and to show its importance. Well, the first topic, which is definitely above everything in Israel, and everybody is speaking about it, and it's in the air, and it comes to climax, is the very possible war with Hezbollah during next weeks. What's new? Why this time it looks like it really can happen? Few things. First of all, we do see that the operation in Rafah comes to an end within some reasonable time. It might be 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but it's about weeks. So all those who said that Israel will not attack or will not go to war with Hezbollah until it's occupied in Gaza, we see it's happening. Netanyahu had an interview on Channel 14, which considers to be the most supporting channel for him. And he admitted that we do see that the intensive part of the fighting in Gaza is over. So it's one sign toward that. The second sign is that the emissary of the White House that for the negotiations with Lebanon gave again ultimatum to Lebanon, to Hezbollah, which is second one. It already happened. Israel, through him, already gave an ultimatum. It was in March. Now it's happening second time, but this time it looks more serious because Israel really suffers from Hezbollah. And again, because all of the other signs, it looks more serious. And the last ultimatum of 7 days was exactly 7 days ago, by the way. We do see more signs. We see as countries demand, European countries, Germany, Canada, demand from their citizens to leave Lebanon. Germany announced it only today. And they demand to do it immediately. It looks like they know something. It looks like they either receive some information in some official channels, or that's their evaluation. Either possibility shows that they do evaluate that there is some situation that can develop into a war very soon. We see that Israeli Defense Minister is now in the United States, closing the gaps with American defense establishment about the disagreements, trying to resolve all the disagreements. And today he declared that it will not be a shortage of ammunition for Israel, and that we we resolve the disagreements between us. Well, the fact that it's defense minister who visited the United States and not the prime minister, I think it lowers the level of the communication to more security establishment level and not political level. So it lowers the conversation down from Biden, who is campaigning for elections. So I think we should believe more that the cooperation through this channel of defense minister in defense issues on operational level goes more fluently. So we do see that the minister actually goes to the United States, as it seems, to prepare and to coordinate Israeli operations with Lebanon. And again, and we see all the time, every day we see another statement, statement from Israel from somebody else, another statement from Lebanon from somebody else, that shows us that things happen and get closer and closer. Now, it definitely can be part of negotiations, but we don't see an agreement. And yesterday or day before yesterday, the United States, I don't remember who exactly, but some senior official said that we will not be able to stop Israel from attacking or from going to war, which is actually also, kind of leverage and pressure on Hezbollah and Lebanon. But it also, it also shows the intention of the United States. And I can tell you that in Israel, everybody is preparing. Army is preparing, the municipalities are preparing. I can tell it as a reserve officer of the Homefront Command. We prepare and we're ready, and the state is ready. People are more ready, and it looks like there is also some understanding that it might happen, and we are ready. Second thing, which very connected, is the second major thing that happens now is the dispute, the debate in Israel over the what we call draft law, Haredi draft into IDF. And yesterday, the Supreme Court had a decision that all the Haredi should just be drafted into army, which again opened very, each side goes to the extreme. And very surprisingly, we see that the Sephardic Haredi community, for many, many years, was much more moderate and much more integrated. And, Shas party, who represent the Sephardic ultra-Orthodox Haredi community in the Knesset, almost all of the MKs, of members of Knesset, served in the army. And one of them, who also served in the army, who serves as internal affairs minister, he also said previously that this situation cannot be. It's not normal. We have to participate in the defense mission. And all of a sudden, yesterday, we hear the rabbis of Shas, of Sephardic ultra-Orthodox Haredi community, say that not only those who, permanently study Torah in the yeshivas, also those Haredi who don't study in the yeshivas should not go to army. Now, this is new, as we always saw that the extremists in this position were the Ashkenazi rabbis, and now it's Sephardists. So they get in line, which is, but by the way, the previous most extreme declarations about it also were by the chief Sephardic rabbi, which is also, it's kind of new, but we see that the situation gets worse. And the reaction from the other side is also very, very, very angry. People say this just cannot happen. Like we cannot. And today, a grandson of the most popular ever and the most influential ever Sephardic rabbi, Arav Ovadia Yosef, who was serving 130 days now as a combat soldier in this war, said very, very hard things that, if Haredi don't feel that they're part of this mission of defense of Israel, you know what? So let them go, let them leave Israel. You have to force them, not do it by agreement. Take the voting right from them. Go until the end. And exactly on this background, we have another law that extend, even though in only 1 year, but extend the age of the cutoff age of reserve. So it's not only that, at the same week, we, the Haredis continue to promote and to go to extreme in their position that they don't serve. And exactly at the same week, we see how the country has to, because we don't have enough soldiers from Haredi community, has to lift and expand the age, the cutoff age of the reserve service, because we do need more reserve soldiers. I think, though, and I have to tell that my opinion is that this more extreme language and declarations of the rabbis is because they understand that in the field, the young population, young generation of the Haredis, they do want to integrate, they do want to serve, they so the rabbis just understand that they lose control, and that's why they go to extreme. That's why the reaction is so extreme, so bad, so loud, because they understand that they have to get control, and the young population of Haredi, they see the war, they understand the war, they're here, they live here. So, and they volunteer somehow. They do volunteer. So I think that this hard reaction from the leadership is because they understand that there is integration, and they might lose control over this in I don't know, 5, 10 years. That's my opinion, and from what I understand from people that understand Haredi world, they agree with me. And how can we not speak about the political battle? The political battle also hits more and more and more. We see more polls. We see more protests against Netanyahu that call for his resign. We see more and more opposition. And I remind you that only 2 weeks ago, Gantz resigned. So we see that from the moment he resigned, the opposition, the leaders of the opposition, they hit the engines, and they openly call for elections, even in this session, to promote the law of elections in this session in the summer. This session is until the end of July, which is just another month. So meaning that they called, into elections within 3.5, 4 months. If until July this law will not pass, so the election will be postponed minimum to beginning of 25. And one thing that has to be said is that we see permanent rise of Avigdor Lieberman. We can see almost, like one mandate every couple of weeks. Every new poll, he goes up. Now the polls show that he's on 14 mandates, which is high. And some polls show that if he unites with other right-wing liberal parties and players like Bennett and Saar, this unity can be the biggest party in parliament. The problem, though, that as we see and as we hear from political commentators, there is no negotiation for such party, and Lieberman himself shows that it doesn't happen. I think it's because, as always, ego. So we should see, who, if Bennett will be able, and Sar will be able, and even Yossi Cohen will be able to sit under Lieberman. If they agree, this can be a game changer in the upcoming elections. But I think it's still very early to determine if such a united new party has a chance. So this is my 15 minutes on major things, and your questions, please.
All right. Thank you, Alex. We have a few questions here already. Now, I'm going to start with one from Chris Weaver. So, the US has effectively warned that they will not be able to rein in Israel from doing what they have to do against Hezbollah. But how badly is the US withholding of weapons going to hurt in the event of a war with Hezbollah?
It's a question that I'm not sure, and many people are not sure, if this delay of shipment is real or it's more, political campaign, and to what extent it exists and to what extent it really disturbs and stops Israel. I do think and I do believe that Israel needs American ammunition, needs these shipments, needs this cooperation, definitely for war with Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a very strong actor. Israel definitely can defeat it with no, I don't think that anybody should doubt it, but it will be hard battle, and we definitely need the United States here. So if Israel will not be able to win this battle without it, I don't think so. If it will be much easier, faster, and provide more defense to Israelis and the region and the United States in the end, definitely, and the West at the end.
And to follow up, we have a question from an anonymous attendee who says, I find it surprising that the US wouldn't stop Israel from acting in a major way against Hezbollah. But do you think this action in the north is really possible?
Yes. Yes, it's really possible. I don't think it's only a chicken game because many things, many people in Israel understand that we must do it. Because if we do it in 3, 5, 7 years, it will be worse. The army is ready. The communities are already evacuated. So many people say that we should do it now. We must do it now. We should do it now. We can do it now. If it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. But you better have a bad fight and provide security than, way too much and get another October 7th on steroids from all over.
Now, would you say that it is the most tactful course of action to do it now with regards to Hezbollah, or would it be more beneficial to make sure that the war going on in the south in Gaza has basically dwindled down before any operation begins in Lebanon?
Well, as I told you in the very beginning, it looks like the war in Gaza is toward its active end. As I told you, the operation in Rafah looks like to end in a couple of weeks. It's about weeks. I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, but it's weeks. So I don't see that this is a problem. And again, as I told you, and something that should be said also about when we say now, now is not, tomorrow. Now can be in a week, now can be in 3 months. Now, some will say, let's wait until elections in the United States. Maybe we'll have a new White House that will support us more. I think that many think so. I think that many in the government think so and try to, um, pull the time. But we have to do it. Okay, now means not in 5 years. Now means during the next months. Should we do it in a month or should we do it in 5 months after the elections? I think it's a tactical question. I don't think also that after all, the United States of America, with all the political needs of this White House, whatever they are, don't understand the meaning and the significance of this fight with Hezbollah and with Iran for the future of the West, for the future of Judo-Christian world, for the security of the United States. I'm convinced that in many ways we see it more and more in war, in more. Some people think that the United States and Europe pay the price for supporting Israel. I think Israel pays the price for being part of the West. When I was between 2010 and 2013, I was a media advisor of the Prime Minister for Russian language media. In parallel, I was serving also the spokesman of the National Economic Council in the Prime Minister's office. And I remember when I spoke to RT, Russia Today. Russia Today is a Russian English-speaking channel, the most anti-Semitic channel, the most anti-Israeli propaganda channel that you ever saw. Just open it, Al Jazeera is a little baby, okay? And I asked them, how come you hit us like there is no tomorrow? They said, listen, we fight America. We don't fight you, but you're part of America. So you get the punch. That was their explanation then. I don't think it became better or different.
All right, thank you. Now, Eric Selkov asks, do you think Iran would enter a war with Hezbollah and Israel? And what would the Lebanese army do during that war?
Hezbollah is Iran. Houthis is Iran. Hamas is Iran. We are in a war with Iran. If somebody didn't get it, please wake up. We are in war with Iran and Qatar. Qatar just, they're much better diplomats. But will we have direct strikes from Iran? Why do they need it for? They have Hezbollah. They built it for that. This is Iran. Hezbollah is Iran. I don't think we should distinguish if the rocket comes from southern Lebanon or Yemen or directly from Iran. It doesn't matter. It's Iran. It's Iranian bases, proxy, budget, training, people, everything.
All right, thank you. Now we have a question from Burak Korkmaz. He has a few questions, but among them, he asks, do you think that Saeed Hassan Nasrallah's threat on Cyprus is credible? And if I can add to that, if so, can you speculate on what the response from the Turkish government might be?
I don't know. I'm sure that big part of all these declarations are chicken game. What is the percentage of chicken game within this and what is real threat? I think it's very hard to determine. However, I think we should take into consideration the seriousness of the very fact that they do threat on European Union state. This is not, this is EU. So how come EU is quiet? I mean, I hope they do something. At least we don't hear them doing something. So this declaration, the very fact of this declaration should be taken very seriously without connection to if it's chicken game or serious. Are they serious? I don't believe that they will really fire rockets on EU, and I don't like it's going too much. It's even not war in the Middle East. It's war with Europe. Turkey. Well, Turkish interest is very complex. I'm sure that Turkey would like, be able to, if under this fight, to get better position in Cyprus. But to tell you honestly, I didn't think about Turkey's position so far because I don't think that Turkey is someone that will really fight in this fight. But it's something, worth thinking over and worth more consideration.
All right, thank you. Now, apologies if I mispronounce this. We have a question from Lenny Shiat, who asks, would Syria and or other Arab entities also join the war against Israel?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. And again, the right question is if Iran will use its influence in Syria and its growing influence in Jordan to open other fronts against Israel. And again, it's not Syria, it's Iran. Will they? Possible. I think it's all, it's all out. We are after the Iranian attack on May 14th, April 14th. I think it's all, there is no hiding anymore. So definitely, I mean, short answers, possible. If we are ready for that, yes, we're ready for that. As you know, Israel is more active in Syria for the last years than in any other place, so we know how to deal with Syria.
All right, thank you. We have another question from Barak Korkmaz. Now, in the event of a war with Israel and Hezbollah, does Hezbollah have the capabilities to hit Israeli gas fields? And do you expect that to be a potential outcome?
Are they capable? Yes. Will they be? I mean, if they can fire, they can fire. We will intercept these rockets with probability of 99%. This is a very strategic infrastructure for Israel, and we do have, very good systems to intercept. I think though that you must understand, Lebanon is a failed state. People don't have food, and there is an also mistake to think that Lebanon can run away from this responsibility, saying that, oh, it's Hezbollah, it's part of us. It's like, it's like, if Israel goes to war and says, no, it's not Israel, it's Likud party. Okay, so Lebanon will be, returned to, we used to say it, to Stone Age. It isn't Stone Age. It will be just erased, I think, and I'm sure that Lebanese don't want this, but they cannot run out. You want to stop the war? Disarm Hezbollah. Clean your land from the real occupation in the Middle East of Iran. This is the real occupation in the Middle East. Iran's occupation of Lebanon, of Syria, almost we are close to occupation of Jordan, occupation of parts of Israel in Gaza and in the Judea and Samaria. This is the real occupation. So if Lebanon wants to leave, throw Hezbollah out. No, excuse me, you are the state, so you will pay the price.
All right, thank you. Now, unfortunately, we have run out of time here. Apologies, there are plenty of great questions I wish I could have gotten to today, but we have unfortunately reached the end of our podcast for the week. Thank you again, Alex, for taking the time to update us.
Thank you.
And for our viewers and listeners, please be on the lookout for our weekly podcast offerings email coming out over the weekend. We thank you all again for joining us, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks.